All right, so yeah, I think we've got a decent amount of stuff to get through. So I think it's now just on 11. I know some of the other guys from the team will be jumping up too. I see we've got Merkle Root here. I think maybe Bunny Root somewhere. But yeah, a few things to cover. So obviously we're progressing through into the roadmap. We've got Expert obviously has been announced with something coming up later today for that. You know, we've had a node update. We've got wallet access, claiming, all the fun things are happening. So let's dive into some of that and get a. I think even if we see Crypto Noughts here as well. I was hoping to start with a marketing update, but maybe we'll dive in straight to you, Chief. Anything to update from your end, just quickly?
Nothing from me. It's been dead. Absolutely done nothing. No, seriously. What a week. It's in fact a couple of weeks for me. It's been absolutely flat out. The number of calls and discussions we've been having across with projects has been just phenomenal. It's I was on calls again last night. I think to about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Night before that, we're up until about 11. Just talking with various projects around the world. I had two, for example, yesterday, one after another. Both were, I think, one of the team commented to me later that that guy was drooling. Now, there's a bit of a description, but they're so excited about the capabilities that we're offering, and they're sitting there. We ask them about their the problems that they're having out there with their existing existing chain, and it comes back to really things like crosstalk, about being able to push their NFTs out. These couple yesterday were gaming projects, and there was also a launch pad as well, and it's just so refreshing to see when you get on there and you start talking about it and their faces light up about, but you've fixed this, you've solved the problems. I can't take credit for that. It goes back to Merkle Root, the effort that he's put into this. It's just been phenomenal, and just starting to get that, really getting huge traction now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it as well, I had the pleasure of being on one of those calls, and to be referred to as the holy grail of blockchain, as L1X, I think it is very, that's very exciting. Having other projects obviously being now recognizing, now we're doing the outreach, now we're getting in front of projects where, people starting to come to the L1X chain for the building purposes, for that flourishing ecosystem that we're about to have. It's really, really liberating to see that they're seeing the things that are being built and also appreciating the stuff that's there and what capabilities it brings. Like I said, to be called the Holy Grail, that's next level, and I'm very excited about where that goes. I see we've got Bunny Arrow here. Do you want to give us a quick update from a marketing perspective?
Hi guys, how are you today? Yes, so we're on day 5 countdown to launch. So, very excited about what's coming our way next week. What we've got coming up in marketing actually is a exciting competition that is going to be around the Australian Crypto Convention, which happens in November in Melbourne, Australia, on the weekend of the 11th of November. So we're going to have a campaign, or a Gleam campaign, of which there will be some lots of activities to complete. And for those brand loyal lucky winners, they'll have the opportunity to meet with us down at the Australian Crypto Convention. Kevin is going to be speaking there, so we're also very excited for his address. And so that's what we've got coming up, and that will be kicking off next week.
Awesome. Yeah, lots of things coming out with that. And I'll dive into the community after this a little bit, and we can discuss what that's going to look like. Obviously, we've got campaign coming out, and it's being built out. But yeah, we're pretty much exactly a month away from that. So lots of exciting things coming with that, and it's going to be huge, absolutely huge down there. Obviously, getting that boots on ground presence as well, and having Kevin speak down there, of course, that's going to be excellent. Yeah, so just driving across, obviously we've got a couple of things on the topics in terms of roadmap, the L1X app, all the fun stuff. We're nearly there, like things coming out, obviously launches coming up. Who'd like to dive in? Cryptonaut, would you like to go first, or are we best to pass to Merkle Root for a wrap up from him?
Let's have Merkle Root go first.
Merkle Root, floor's yours.
Yeah, hey guys. Same old story. Just trying to be alive in this hustle and bustle of so many things happening at once, like always. But I don't know if all the guys over here have seen the announcement, but we upgraded the nodes yesterday, and the nodes are now prepared for the L1X App.com launch. And I'm very excited about launching this product, because not only will you be able to go in there and start utilizing these features, but we've got heaps of features that have been planned out according to the roadmap that's coming in. So at 9 p.m. AWST on the coming Monday, we'll make the website live, and you'll be able to go in there and you'll be able to start creating your profile on Web3. You'll be able to go in and start creating your customized Explorer experience. At the same time, you'll be able to start staking as well. So multi-chain staking, we've done a good job with providing you rewards in native L1X coin when you stake any of your ETH, AVAX, USDC, USDT, or any of these tokens. And at the same time, following a few days or a week after that, we'll open up the swap as well. So we are starting off with an initial liquidity in the swap, but once we start seeing the staked value increase in the LP contracts on L1X, the swap will be a feature that's going to be rolled out eventually after that in less than a week. And at the same time, we have a portfolio section as well, which we are extending on. So basically the concept over here is all your Web3 assets, on all your projects that you go through from L1X in one place. And as we keep rolling these features out, you'll be able to go in there and see your allocations as well. So we are creating a user, Web3 decentralized user profiling system where your allocations, the referral registrations, and their bonuses will all be in one place. And at the same time, what we have done is we have started this campaign around, referral programs where we understand that as a community, bringing on board the users has to be, the word of mouth from using this product built on L1X. And as a recurring revenue perspective, when you refer a user to the L1X App.com, we are going to give out 10% of any fee that we collect from this user for lifetime of that user to this particular referee. So, we are trying to move into a place where we automate the process of bringing the users on L1XApp.com. The users actually, doing a transaction in a step-by-step process, and we can focus on the most important things, which is, rolling out features that make sense from the user's perspective. And at the same time, the claim process and your L1X wallet by the 18th of this month will have, all the private sale guys opened up, and we'll also be starting to roll out the public sale and the term sheet investors by the 18th. And the idea is to put the claim process and the ecstatic program on L1XApp.com as well. So apart from that, I've been, speaking to quite a few projects. One of these projects, they've got some great agreement with some government that has, the objective of bringing on board 10 to 15 million citizens on their digital identity, but they want the technology for that. And the objective of, your KYC documents being tokenized and you own that information, is a natural extension to your identity on Web3. So we are trying to wrap up a few projects, but more importantly, these projects will be able to host their features on the L1XApp.com in the widgets. So you wouldn't even need to go to any other website to use features or projects that want to build on L1X if you wanted to quickly use the summary of that project's features. And once we launch the L1XApp.com, the whole intention is to bring on board users in there, and we aim to get a good number of users before the mainnet launch. And the reason for that is providing some form of institutional validation on the protocol that users are coming on, they're using it, and this experience around getting access to the protocol is pretty disjointed on layer 1, so that we are aiming for L1XApp.com to be the entry point into the protocol where all these features that we have on the protocol, the users can actually use them, and it makes sense from an everyday user's perspective.
That's awesome. Coming from a guy that has 70 tabs open at once, having everything in one place definitely makes it a lot easier. I'm sure you can relate to that. I've seen your computer set up with your 5 million screens. I can just imagine how many tabs you would have open everywhere. So yeah, having that one hub, I think, makes a big difference, especially in DeFi. A problem I've had in the past is forgetting what stuff I've put where. So having that one place as that central hub, I think, takes some of that stress away as well.
Yeah, and at the same time, I think it's a fact that we are trying to create this holistic experience around the user now. We build the infrastructure, but we don't want the users to have a disjointed experience for this infrastructure. And you're checking transactions, you're doing a certain transaction on DeFi, you're going to send a message to someone, you're going to upload a file and share those files. All these things form a part of your interaction with your work, your personal life. And this is where L1XApp.com is going to start to encapsulate these things, because as a user, you don't use 15, 20 applications in a day. You use 5 applications, but you go there 50 times a day. And that's the intention with L1XApp.com, that we don't want you to keep going to these new projects that keep building with us on their websites one at a time, right? And maybe just go there once in one month. But these projects building with us, and that's why we've been so selective from the beginning, where as a user, you come on L1XApp.com, you want to share a file, the other person with the wallet can authorize that person is the receiver and can see the file. Now, imagine going to a different website on a different chain and trying to upload the file there and share it across with a new account, with a new wallet. So L1XApp.com is built, and it looks like it's so seamless there, because we have taken each and every click that you do, every action that you're going to do there is going to be done in less than 3 clicks and in less than 10 seconds. That was the fundamental base. So new features being added on, we're going to follow the same principle. And the idea is any Web3 user wouldn't even need to go to any other web page except L1XApp.com, where they have the entry point to these Web3 infrastructures or projects.
Yeah, that's definitely massive. I think when you grasp the concept of that, like you said, you only use so many, I suppose, repetitively, and then few outside that in irregular frequency. We just have a question here from Jaron in the chat. Are there any third-party apps ready to go and will be included in the launch this weekend for the L1X app?
Yeah, so we have, it's not a third-party application, but it's a portfolio summarizer. So that's one of the extension or a plugin that's built onto the L1XApp.com. And in your profile or in your account, you'll be able to start looking at your Web3 investments that you do through L1X, and it will kind of give you a smart way of saying that, okay, once you connect your wallet, it will automatically detect what's the best investment strategy for you, giving you the best APR possible. So that's being built in, and it will be launched on Monday. So I believe that our community members have staked before and are used to certain APRs, but we want to take that process on a multi-chain perspective and automate that process for the user, making it seamless. So this is one of the things that they'll be able to do from Monday onwards.
That's awesome. It's a sneaky bit of alpha that sneaking in. Yeah, Monday. I think everybody's obviously very excited for Monday. Any just I suppose closing comments on what we've got coming Monday? Do you want to give a quick wrap up about it? I know we've talked about it at length, obviously, but getting closer towards, is there anything that we should be knowledge of as the community around that?
Yeah, I think I would say keep your assets ready. If you've already staked anywhere and you want to make better APRs, let the algorithm decide what's the best APR for you. You want to have a look. At least what I would recommend is go in there, connect your wallet, and at least have a look as to what this algorithm can provide for you. So in this way, you would at least know, okay, am I getting the best out of what I already have as well? So that's what I would recommend. Go in there, connect your wallet, and check if it's suitable for you, if it's worthy enough for you. You can definitely try it out.
Perfect. And then just one more question, I think, that leads into that from the community, which was the liquidity solution on the L1X app. Is that powered by L1X or separate solution?
Yeah. So look, I think the intention over here is that these applications that are built on L1XApp.com, we are the infrastructure provider. So the L1X guys, who are focusing on the balancer style, ETF concepts, but eventually the unified staking model or the swap, it's a product of L1X. It's not an L1X Foundation product, right? We are not in the business of DeFi. We are in the business of infrastructure. So eventually it will be an L1X product. But right now, the way we have segregated that is because we wanted to provide this unified experience to the user. We have built those widgets as a part of L1XApp.com integral part. But later on, you'll see that L1X guys are working super hard in creating this complex, products for you in a simplified way. And the unified staking swap will all be a natural extension of these things.
Awesome. It's good. And I think that's it. As we come online, and obviously the understanding of how all the working will go and how the L1X app looks and what the integrations are like, obviously that becomes a lot more front of mind. So I find that's it. Using always makes it a little bit easier to understand the process and how things are working as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. So I suppose that's awesome updates from your end as well. Obviously, we're getting a good encompassing sort of overview of everything that's coming up. Is there anything else that you wanted to throw in before I throw over to Spark for any updates from him?
No, I think my focus right now is on getting the L1XApp.com up and going, and basically we just want to see this users or the community members get something out of this product now. So yeah, I just want to make sure that it's up and running on Monday. That's all.
Awesome, and I can't tell you how excited everybody is for it. I know in the chats it's it's buzzing in there in anticipation. So we're right there with you, and we are ready to go when you are.
Yep.
Spark, anything from your end?
Yeah, I think I heard Chief talking about this, but maybe I can add on to. So we've been focusing a lot on the projects and the ecosystem and having projects, making sure we've got these pipelines of projects coming through. So a couple of things. It's actually been really interesting to see the level of innovation that's being developed over the bear market. Some of the projects coming through are fairly innovative and quite interesting. And I think it just shows you the kind of cycles that we go through in terms of innovation, in terms of, this kind of the Bitcoin 4-year 4-year cycle, it's almost like we go through a bull run. All these projects come out. Unfortunately, a good chunk of them are shit. They die, and then people learn. And then they come back and they go, well, what about if we do this? We learn from that, or we learn from that other project doing this, and let's innovate a little bit and bring back a better product. So we've been talking to games, DeFi, NFTs, a whole range of areas of projects, all at different stages. So, some of these projects we're talking to are still, they're almost project ready. Some of them are still, I would say, 18 months away. They're all at different stages. Some are concept, some are project ready. So we've got to treat them in terms of our priorities as well. And our main priority at this moment is what is going to be the best for the ecosystem, what is going to be the best for the protocol, and whether that's a short-term support from us to get in to launch, or it's a long-term partnership with us, because they've still got some milestones to achieve, whatever that is. But ultimately, our focus is building out the ecosystem. Because when you're talking to the projects that we're talking to, it's great that they're building some innovative stuff, and they're all looking for a home, which is good. And the technology, yes, the technology has been a big win, a big plus in the conversations that we're having with projects, but also it's the users, right? They're also looking for users. And I think this kind of segues into the L1X app and what the community can do, and I think the community is chomping at the bit, I think, to get their hands on this L1X app. And I think the L1X app, I think, will evolve to be, already when you use the L1X app straight off the bat, you'll see differences in terms of of other things that exist, existing things in the market compared to L1X app. But I think as it evolves, two important things. Community feedback will be really important in terms of the evolution of the app, but also making sure that if you're part of the community, share this thing with as many people as you can, right? Get it out there. Get it in the hands of your friends, your family members, friends of friends, because not only will that help the protocol, it'll also help the ecosystem. Because when we then talk to projects, we can say, yeah, we've got some amazing technology, and look at the growth of users that are coming on board through the L1X app. And I think that's a really, if community members are probably thinking to themselves, what else can they do in terms of building out the ecosystem? We know the tech is good. We know this app is going to be amazing, and it will continue to evolve and iterate to be better and better and better. And the community feedback will be an important part of that. But also getting it in the hands of as many people as possible. And word of mouth is probably the most powerful tool when you're talking about something that you want other people to use, right? If someone knows you and you have a relationship with them and you say, hey, look, give this a try, it's always going to be a much easier conversion than cold. So yeah, I think a couple of things I wanted to talk about. The innovation that we're seeing and what people have built through the bear market is fairly impressive. I think there's been some learnings through the last bull market and the failures maybe that happened through that bull market in terms of tokenomics, mechanics, all these different things. Also, the technology has been a big win in the conversations. The app is going to be really important in terms of bringing on users to the system, and the community can play a really big part in that.
I just want to echo what Spark has just said around that. With that, when we're talking to these various projects, the referrals, the contacts. We had one project yesterday where the guy was, he was extremely excited about coming on board, and he said, "Well, I now have to introduce you across to this other protocol piece that I've been involved in." He said, "Because they're going to be jumping at this." And that all comes from those one-to-one conversations that then just expand out into many further conversations. And Spark is absolutely spot on with what he said.
Yeah, definitely. And just to feed a little bit more into that as well, I think with any level of technology, we have to have a foundational base. And then once we have that and somebody makes something unique and creative, then that sets off other people's minds as to, wow, now we have this as a baseline. What can we do on top of that? And even in the conversations I've been a part of, with these projects and Chief and obviously Spark in there taking a lot of these calls that I book at odd hours of the night for them, which has been very enjoyable, midnight calls to them, stuff like that. So big props to you guys for being able to jump on at any given time to obviously help discussions with projects. But you can see once they believe in that possibility of, okay, well, if L1X is now, if now it's the baseline, where could we take our project? And seeing the cogs tick over in their mind as to what's the next level, what's the next big step is always, I think, very exciting prospect, because what they thought they had to build with before, and then that their ideas can only go so far. And then you up the level of that, and it opens a whole new window of things that can be achieved. And it's been really good to watch that. And also watching Spark go down the technical journey with other people as they're, and meeting other people on the same technical level, and then me just being lost in the conversations that are happening. It's been very, very good from that end. Cryptonaut, just to jump over to you, from your end, any updates?
Yeah, been working on a couple of innovative things for the L1X app for future releases. With actually had a good conversation with Merkle Root just a few minutes ago. I think he gets nervous whenever he hears me, hey, I've got a great idea. As Spark and Chief kind of know, I like to brain dump and do some things when I go down these rabbit holes, and sometimes they can take up a few whiteboards, a couple of conference room glass walls and things like that. But
let me tell you that the first time Cryptonaut came to Perth and he went down a rabbit hole, he covered up one of the windows in the office. So he grabbed a felt tip pen and just started writing his idea on a window. And I was like, oh, okay, we've got some whiteboards in the boardroom, but you do you, mate. Get it out.
My ideal office is 4 white walls, and those white walls are not padded walls; they're whiteboard walls. So just need to clarify that there. But I think everybody's going to be really excited where we're going to go with this. Like I was saying, Merkle Root, good thing we've got him, because he can. I think he's getting to the point where he can speak Cryptonautese. The language of my mind, I think, and we're starting to get on the same page there. And if we can bring to fruition some of these concepts that we want to do with the L1X app, it's definitely going to be a game changer, And as the CXO, Chief Experience Officer, one of my primary goals and roles within the organization is to continuously champion the customer-centric approach to our user experience, keeping everyone of the community at the forefront. When we talk about different products and experiences and things like that, we've got to reel back and look at how does it benefit the user. Will the user adopt this and all these things? And Spark kind of talked a little bit about that when he's speaking about these other projects. And it's amazing when you have really good products and projects out there, but their user experience, their interfaces are just crap. They're so hard to deal with, and that's why a lot of them fail, is because they don't put in the time and effort to do that. And I can tell you that Merkle Root, myself, Chief, and Spark and the rest of the team are all considering that. And so that's what's going to make this thing go, this L1X app go. So I'm really excited for what's to come. As Merkle Root talked about, 5 different websites that you use 50 times a day. I want to try to take those 5 websites and see if we can condense it down into using all those functions and features, but in one one location, one L1X app. And so I'm pretty excited for that to come up.
Awesome. And every time we hear about it, I think it's, it just adds to the excitement, and we're nearly there. It's literal days away. So I just think that's it. Everybody, it's time to be excited. We're so close. Just in I suppose time frames. Just want to make sure that we're keeping everything going. Just want to have closing statements from everybody so we can get back to getting things done. I know Merkle Root obviously wants to dive back into getting things ready for Monday. So do you want to start with closing statements so you can jump off?
Yeah, sure. So, we have spun up a very quick summary of L1XApp.com. If you go to the L1X Foundation website, on the tab, there's L1X App. So there are, pointers mentioned in the roadmap as well. But more importantly, when you see that website, I think it's just not a product. It's a way where we are trying super hard to take that whole experience of your Web3 and try to make it so simple for you. So yeah, maybe just connect your wallet and play around with it. The home screen is going to change. I mean, the moment you get on the home screen, it's going to give you some views, but the moment you connect your wallet, it's going to personalize the view for you. And it doesn't really matter how many wallets you would connect with. It will always identify you in a decentralized way. So just enjoy the app and, give us your feedback and wait for the new features to be rolled out.
Awesome. Just a quick question from the community. Does the L1X leadership team think we're still on track for mainnet launch by end of January?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think I'd like to, maybe take 2 minutes and just, tackle this pointer, which is, I think anyone can be ready for a mainnet launch. But I think the question that we ask ourselves is, are we, in a position where we can call ourselves that we are in mainnet launch, right? And the L1XApp.com and whatever we are doing right now is being positioned in a way that we don't only keep talking about the technology. We talk about the use case and actually people using it, because instead of you going on a chain and interacting with it twice in a month, we want you to interact with L1X 100 times a day. So even if we've got 100,000 users versus 5 million users on any other chain, the engagement that the person has on L1X is going to be much higher and it's going to compound. So we are on track for the mainnet launch, but more importantly, we are on track to build something that people are going to use 50 times a day. That's what the mainnet would provide us.
It's awesome. I see we've got another question there. I just read, can you post the timeline rollout of when things will be claimable? I think that answers it. We're still on track and doing well with all of that, I think, for the private and pre-sale coins. So, Red, can you just post that graphic of when things are claimable for the answer to that question? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's it. That's really good for, obviously, community to get that feel of, how things are going, and obviously we're on track and everything's looking really good, but as you said, it's anybody, I suppose, can just tick the box and say, yep, we're, it's ready, but it's more so about having that entire experience. It's we want to be ready in terms of that top level experience across the board ready for January. So and on track for that. I think what we're building here is definitely reflective of that. Who'd like to go next? Chief, Cryptonaut? I see Spark keeps dropping in and out.
Yeah, for me, it's just the number of those meetings and discussions we're having and talking with the various projects. Everything from the projects that want to put dApps onto the L1X app. The widget we've got coming, that's actually going to be, we think, extremely huge. I mean, just where that's heading and the way people are starting to get excited about it when we're talking to those projects has been fantastic. Consolidating the various NFT marketplaces, and we've got, just to give you an idea, we've got a couple of them sitting there ready to rock and roll. around music, around just the NFT marketplace, the aggregators. We've got an AI version of a marketplace coming. Just those where we're heading and the projects, the DeFi ones, the conversations we're having there, and about how those particular projects are getting excited or where they're going to go. It's been really, really good.
Definitely. I see we've got a question from Jaron about some underhanded tactics about us trying to get some L1X merch at the ACC in Melbourne. He wants to know what the currency requirement is for getting the underhanded deal. I'm not sure what the suggestive nature of that is, but I mean, yeah. How do we get the Power Ranger suit?
You got to prove to us how you've been promoting L1X and getting it out there. Show us all your how you've reposted on Twitter and on any other social media site out there to promote us. For me, that's a good starting point.
Definitely,
I think we're also going to. Sorry, just add another one. I think we might actually make some very special merch available as well as for some competitions coming up, where we could actually do a couple of signed T-shirts. Those ones that you'll never wear that you want to put up in a frame.
It's funny you should say that about certain things and what we're having for the ACC, and I know that Bunny Arrow and myself are having a conversation later about what some of that might look like. So is there some sneaky merch around? Maybe. I mean, it's worth being aware in the next maybe 7 days of what's happening around the community, and there might be some stuff there. Next time Spark actually gets back here as a speaker, I'll get him to do his closing statement, because I see he's in and out. He's obviously having some wild technical problems. CryptoNod, do you want to go next while we're waiting for him to come back?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, like everybody's mentioned, what can the community do to help or get involved? Push this L1X app out to everyone you know. Get in there, test it, provide your feedback, because as it was mentioned previously, your feedback is going to help this thing evolve, get polished, and become something as a new staple that people use in crypto. I truly believe that. And so the more you can get involved that way, the better. I know that our mods are definitely being brought up to speed quickly on everything around the L1X app. So feel free to jump out there and ask questions, and let's build this thing together.
I think the echo of that statement is so true. Build it together. That's it. L1X isn't just, obviously the leadership team that are doing the stuff in the back end. It's more so without you guys as users, it's very hard to have a thriving ecosystem. So everybody here is important. It's building together is definitely the term. Bunny Arrow, anything from your end?
Just talking about merch, we have got some exciting merch on the way, and part of the winnings or the competition that we're going to be running around the Australian Crypto Convention, there will be some great giveaways as well. So if you are planning to go down to Melbourne to the Australian Crypto Convention, please come say hi to us there, and we have some great giveaways. So yeah. It's probably the last thing I've got. I'm just so super excited for Monday night when I can actually get in there and have a really good look at this L1X app. I think I'm probably as excited as the rest of the team. It's been a massive build up, and we're just super excited to see it come to fruition.
Awesome. I'm not sure we're getting Spark back. I think he might be going off on to do some other stuff. Just from the community point of view, just as a note, in 2 hours' time, we do have what would you call it, a Zoom? It's not really a Zoom, it's a webinar, that's the word I'm looking for. We have a webinar based around the experts program, so that's, as was alluded to earlier, the 10% back on basically every transaction that you invite somebody to, so there'll be all the information about that in the chat we can we get that link to the? I'm sure Red will post this shortly. Link to the webinar in the chat so everybody knows what I'm talking about. If you're not seeing it there, it's in the media one anyway. Sorry, the events tab in Discord. So just last statement from me. Just as always, just remember you guys are obviously the ecosystem, the community. You guys are what's driving this forward as well in terms of our adoption, in terms of user base, in terms of getting it out there, reviewing it, testing it. All that stuff, like all your feedback's very important, and we appreciate and value having all of you as a part of the community. You're so much of a big contributor as well as obviously the team on the other side. So thanks once again for everybody being here, taking the time to jump on, and big thanks to the team for taking the time out of the day to update us with everything that's going on. Unless anybody has any further things, we'll wrap that there, and we'll see you all on the next one.
I just want to add one little thing. We had I shouldn't say a little thing. I had a visitor into the office yesterday, and I haven't looked to see if she's actually online, but Alberta came into the office and said hi, which was fantastic. And he's picking up a T-shirt, one of her prizes. So, it was really good to start to meet some of the community. We've had some of our other community members come in, and they're come in, they're bouncing off the walls when they're talking to us as well. So it's really good to see.
I don't know if this is just purely a country Australia type thing, but when you said we had a visitor in the office, like my head went straight to a giant spider or some form of snake or some form of wildlife that's crept its way into the office, because that's generally how we say, oh, we had a little friend join us in the office, and it's like a 15-meter python type thing. So anyway.
This is one of the community members, Alberta. So it was really good.
Next time I'm expecting there to be wildlife in the office. Kevin gets plants. Maybe we send Chief just random animals.
Right. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we'll wrap that up there. Once again, thanks everybody for jumping on, and we'll see you on the next one. Before people start sending wildlife to Chief, we better call it there. So thanks once again, everybody. We'll talk to you real soon.